Okay, I'd like to call to order the May 23rd, 2016 meeting of the Highland Park Board of Education. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of the public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, the Highland Park Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting, setting forth a time, date, and location to be submitted for publication to the Home News Tribune and Star Ledger and posted on the board's website at least 48 hours in advance of this meeting. Members of the public who wish to address the board will be given the opportunity to do so before the board adjourns for the evening. Linda, can we have a roll call?
Ms. Byer?
Here.
Mr. Moresti?
Here.
Ms. Gowan? Mr. Krieger?
Here.
Mr. Magaziner?
Here.
Ms. McFadden DiNicola? Ms. Pietrobono?
Here.
Ms. Richardson?
Here.
Mr. Roslowitz?
Okay, be resolved pursuant to the Sunshine Act, NJSA 10-4-12 and 13, the Highland Park Board of Education will now meet in closed session to discuss personnel matters, negotiations, and litigation. These exemptions are permitted to be discussed in closed session in accordance with NJSA 10-4-13. Information regarding the board's closed session and discussion will be disclosed to the public as soon as the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Can I get a motion to recess?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Any objections?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our meeting, can I get a motion to reconvene?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us tonight at Irving. We're very excited to be here. Linda, there's no communications on the agenda. Do we have anything in addition?
No.
Okay. And we need to go over the minutes from the, we have an addition to the minutes under personnel and communications. And then we're going to approve the minutes for the regular public meeting and executive session from May 2nd, 2016, and the workshop meeting and executive session from May 16th, 2016. Does anybody have any comments or additional corrections or concerns? Okay. I'm not seeing any. Can we get, we have one student. Amita, do you want to give the student report?
Sure.
Oh,
We need the roll call.
I'm so sorry. Yep. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, and Linda, can we get a roll call?
Ms. Byer?
Here.
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Moresti?
Yes.
Ms. Gowan?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Magaziner?
Yes.
Ms. Pietrobono?
Abstain and wasn't here.
Ms. Richardson?
Yes.
Mr. Roslowitz?
Yes.
Now, Amita.
Okay. So no news from Irving this time, but at Bartle, they just had the Bartle Learnscape ribbon cutting ceremony. I think it was last Thursday. And tomorrow they have a trip to a planetarium, which is also very cool. They also have an awards ceremony coming up tomorrow. Nothing from the middle school, but at the high school, this past Saturday, our school hosted Central Jersey Model UN, very well attended by 17 different schools from all over New Jersey, with over 120 out-of-school students, and a visit from the UPenn professor Brian Daniels, who discussed Syrian heritage. And this event raised over $2,800 to help sponsor future trips by the club to places such as Mexico, which is the planned trip for next year.
Fantastic.
And also at the high school, junior prom was last Friday, May 20th. The final coffee house for Dead Center of the year is taking place right now, today. It started at 7:30. The choir concert of the high school is also this Wednesday. Senior prom is June 2nd. The National Honor Society induction ceremony is June 1st. Senior trip is June 9th and 10th, and senior awards is June 7th.
My goodness, you guys were very busy.
Very.
Thank you very much, Amita. So Scott, we'll move on to your report.
So I begin my report with some general announcements. First of all, it's great to see everybody here. Thank you for coming out tonight. Second, I would like to remind the community that we have an active survey that includes 5 questions. We would love for your input so that the Strategic Planning Steering Committee could use that data and then share your responses with the community, who I hope will come out 2 evenings in late June, June 28th and June 29th, from 6:30 to 9:30 each of those evenings. It's during those times that we will, as a community, I hope to see everyone who's in this room there, be discussing the most pressing issues that our district and community wants to resolve. And we will, in small groups, develop action plans that I'll take back to the leadership team, the teachers and support staff, and the board, of course, that we can put in place for the next 3 years. So that's June 28th and June 29th from 6:30 to 9:30. Please go online to either our district website, hpschools.net, or the strategic plan site, which we call the Pathways to Excellence site. You can go there by hitting www.pathway.hpschools.net and fill out the survey. It won't take you more than a couple of minutes. The other announcement I want to make is about a community tradition that dates way back. I don't think is back as far back as the Irving Centennial, and that is the pre-prom community gathering. That'll happen June 2nd on the lawn of the high school. Feel free to come out and see our seniors and their significant others, all dressed up and getting ready to go to the prom. That starts, I believe, at 6:30 on June 2nd. So please, I hope to see you there on the front lawn of the high school. So with that, it is my honor to introduce the Irving principal, Mrs. Freeborn, who is going to take the spotlight.
Good evening, everybody. I couldn't be more proud to stand here and let you all know that this year Irving turned 100. So we have been busy here at Irving doing lots of great things to celebrate. You may look out into the crowd today and see some teachers that look very serious, all look very similar, and some students that are dressed similar. We came to the board meeting tonight dressed as the children would in 1916. And I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about Irving's history. We're gonna do a couple things, and then, my friends, you are going to head up onto the stage with Mrs. Radke, and you're gonna sing. So I'm going to read a couple things, and then you're gonna head up to the stage, okay? Here we go. So a little back history about Irving. We're dressed here in the clothes, so you have your mindset. In December 1913, due to growing enrollment, a special election was held asking Highland Park voters to approve the purchase of a 140 by 150 feet tract of land on Central and South 11th Avenue for $1,750. How about that? That's a budget. The results were 73 in favor and 42 opposed. A contract for the $18,000 to build the school was later awarded. Irving School was designed by a prominent architect, Alexander Merchant, and was originally just 4 rooms. As World War I began, construction costs skyrocketed, resulting in the completion of the Irving School being delayed by 1 year. Irving opened January 8th, 1916, to educate children of the racetrack, presently known as the Triangle area of town, with 2 teachers, Marguerite Prentice and Hazel Dodge, and Principal Hilda Stultz. In 1920, a contract for $62,000 was awarded to build an additional 4 classrooms. At the same time, additional land adjacent to the school was purchased for $30,000. These are some great numbers. In 1940, Irving was still an 8-room neighborhood school with 7 teachers for kindergarten through 6th grade. The enrollment was 201. In response to overcrowding, additions and renovations occurred in the 1960s. By 1979, Irving School had grown 22 classrooms for 100 kindergartners and 385 first grade through 3rd graders. By 1983, with declining district enrollment, all lower grades from Lafayette, the other elementary school, were moved to Irving School, resulting in over 400 kindergarten through 2nd grade students in the building. In 2000, work began on 3 additional classrooms, which were built on a parking lot on the Maryland side of the building. In 2006, 3 of the newest classrooms were built, which were converted into the cafeteria. The former cafeteria was in the basement of the tower. The oldest part of the school became the art room. Offices and classrooms were renovated, expanded, allowing for the pre-K classes to move from the high school to Irving, making it truly an early education building. In 2015-16 school year, Irving has 300 pre-K and first grade students. There are 19 classroom teachers, numerous support teachers, specialists, paraprofessionals, and staff led by 1 principal. January 8th, 2016 marked the kickoff of Irving's centennial year. A school-wide assembly was held with students and staff dressed in 1916 garb, like we are now. The students learned a song from that time, as well as about artists, sports teams, games, and authors of the day. The students were visited by Mother Goose, whose well-loved rhymes became part of the lessons on proper 1916 classroom manners. In May 2016, the National Arbor Foundation sent us 100 tree seedlings. Several were planted on the school grounds, and the rest were given out to community residents. In the fall, they were going to be able to plant 100 purple tulip bulbs. Our first grade Moving Up musical will be in June. This is the 100th first grade class to be educated at Irving. Their t-shirts for the show will read, Irving Centennial Class. Our final event of the year will be an alumni and community open house on Sunday, October 9th from 12 to 3. Mark your calendars. There will be tours of the building and old-time activities and games for all to enjoy. So with all of this, we did one also wonderful contest. We had a logo contest. And if you look up on the screen, we called all Highland Park alumni and all Highland Park students to create our centennial logo for us. We chose one, our committee did, our centennial committee, from a student from the middle school. So I wanted to have you all give Richard Zhu from the middle school a big round of applause for creating, come on up, Richard. For creating our beautiful logo. It's wonderful, it's everything that we wished it could be. It's colorful, it's vibrant, and we love the cake. So well done. Do you want to come? Oh, come on this way. Which picture time?
He was already walking up as he was going up. Mr. Hume, may I have? Oh, sorry. Thank you.
And the logo contest was open to anybody. We had a couple entries. I also wanted to take a minute to thank our staff and along with our Centennial Committee. Our Centennial Committee is actually led by a fellow Highland Park resident, Judy Pokashi, and she's been guiding us and helping us plan all these events. So thank you to the teachers and to the Centennial Committee. Well done. Now, my Irving friends, it's our turn. So what? After. Yeah. So if my Irving friends could just stand up right where they are. Awesome. And awesome. You guys, if you can stay on this black line. Over on this side of the, you guys can come over here. And then you guys, if you could stand on that black line over there, I'm going to come and get you all and lead you up to the stage. Yeah, you want to go lead us?
My son is won a national one-top. There you go. Department of Wonderful Styling. And he's a professional artist, but they would never sell anything. But he won his national one, and the teacher in the bio class, he must have been like a ninth grade. The teacher in the class was like some science class. Went in there, got an award, it was a government building. It was really amazing. Yeah, it was a great experience. We should get out of the way. No, I think actually they're above us. We're
Probably going to stand up.
Yeah. Wow. That's why there's so many parents.
We should vote.
I guess one class. Two classes. These press guys. They're here to see us pass that resolution.
Miss Radke, one part of our whole school meeting was our music teacher, Miss Radke, taught them a song from the 1916s. I don't know. So Miss Radke, if you lead the students, they know the song. Well done, my friends. If everybody, I don't know what's going on. If everybody can just do a big smile and look at their mom and dad. Well done, Irving. I'm very proud of you. I'm going to have you come off, okay? First, the top row. know it's late and everybody wants to go home and get to bed, so if you need to leave, we understand.
Okay, we're going off.
I dismissed him, I'm sorry. Just. A couple more things before we turn it back over to everybody. Councilwoman Welkowitz, oh, there you are. She has something for Irving from the town, so she's going to come on up.
Hello. On behalf of the governing body, we passed this proclamation in council last Tuesday, and I'd like to present it and read it to Principal Freeborn. Okay. Oh, okay. So excuse the redundancy, but such is the work of proclamations that are here to document our history. So, from the office of the mayor, whereas in December 1913, a special election was held asking Highland Park voters to approve the purchase of a tract of land on Central and South 11th Avenues to construct a school. And whereas Irving School was designed by prominent architect Alexander Merchant and was originally just 4 rooms. And whereas Irving School officially opened January 8, 1916 to educate the children of the racetrack area, which is now known as the Triangle. The school was staffed with 2 teachers, Marguerite Prentice and Hazel Dodge, and the principal, Hilda Stultz. And whereas in 1920, additional land was purchased and a contract was awarded to build an additional 4 classrooms. And whereas in 1940, Irving School was still an 8-room neighborhood school with 7 teachers for 201 students in kindergarten through 6th grade. And whereas by 1979, Irving School had grown to 22 classrooms for 100 kindergartners and 385 first through 3rd graders. And whereas Irving School added 3 additional classrooms in the late 1990s to the Maryland Avenue side of the building, and an extensive renovation was undertaken in 2006. This renovation allowed the pre-K classes to be moved from the high school to the new classrooms at Irving, making it a true early education building. And whereas in 2016, Irving School has 300 pre-K through 1st grade students, there are 19 classroom teachers, numerous support teachers, specialists, paraprofessionals, and staff, and they are led by Principal Kelly Freeborn. And whereas the Borough Council and the residents of Highland Park wish to honor Irving School for its long history in Highland Park. On behalf of the mayor, now therefore I, Gail Brill Mittler, Mayor of the Borough of Highland Park, do hereby congratulate Irving School on their 100th anniversary.
Thank you very much. It's been an honor to be here for this year. It's been very, the kids have really gotten into it. We're very excited about it. Please come to our October open house. We'd love to have you. I'm going to flip the cards now because I have my student spotlight, who happens to be here as well. So each month, Dr. Taylor likes us to spotlight a student, and this month, our student is from Irving. And I'm going to read you a little bit about him, but first I would like to call him up. So would Andrew please come on up? Where's Andrew? Oh, there he is. Come on, you can bring Mom and Dad. Mom, you want to come up? Come on. You can. Mom. She can come too. Come. Sister can come. So Andrew, this is your moment. I'm going to read some things about you. Are you ready? Okay. Andrew is a 1st grader in Miss Fittipaldi's class. Andrew is a great friend. He is kind and generous to his classmates and teachers. He often helps other students in the class solve problems. Andrew is a great listener and works hard to follow all the directions. If you walked into the classroom, you would find Andrew being a role model for his classmates. One teacher said, and I quote, "I can't help but picture his big, beautiful eyes filled with wonder and anticipation while he's attentively listening to my lessons." Andrew is an inquisitive and curious student. He is eager to listen, learn, and participate in all class activities. One thing that sets him apart is that he isn't good because he gets a sticker or be in the spotlight or win a prize. Andrew is just someone who chooses to be this way every day. It is with great pride that I recognize Andrew tonight and put him in the spotlight he deserves. Irving is lucky to have such a wonderful student to celebrate tonight. Congratulations, Andrew. Thank you, everybody, and special thanks to my teachers and staff who came out tonight. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Freeborn. Now is the time, if you would like to leave, go home, rest up for tomorrow's school day, you can do so. We'll wait a few minutes if you'd like to depart before we continue our meeting. If you'd like to stay, you're welcome to stay as well.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, we have 10 minutes about an hour is not gonna make or break anything, right? Yeah, they started posting it a while ago. That's where stage it's at. Or they got permission for it. And it's on them.
No, Friday's meeting was really shocking to me. Because everyone was telling me you have to be ready and you have to be tough. And
Yeah, I mean, they'll make it.
you have to. Which was so good. But we did answer a lot of questions in the meeting at the
Okay, so as everybody is filing out, we will get on with the rest of our meeting. So we will resume with our board committee reports, and we'll start. Oh, Michelle's not here for curriculum and instruction.
We did not meet.
Right, Ruth, would you mind filling in for Michelle? And
We did not meet. The curriculum committee did not meet.
could you just do a quick overview of anything that's on the agenda for?
Sure.
It's
Okay.
nothing new. There's nothing new from our workshop
Okay,
meeting.
we have our field trip requests and our approval of revised job description, database specialist / technology support position. Another job description, behavior specialist, and special education paraprofessional / job coach. And then we have number 5, the appointment of our university graduates, students for teaching internships, junior practicum and observations. There's several of those. Then we have the approval of the Teen Center Summer SAT Preparation Course instructors, which will happen in July. Then number 7, an appointment of an MSW student intern for the Community Teen Center, September through April 2017. And 8, extension of an internship of somebody who's already working at the Community Teen Center, a pre-doc intern, and that is it.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the curriculum items? Okay. Seeing none, Mark, can you give us the finance and facilities report?
Yes. Okay, so as we went over at the workshop meeting, we have bill lists, including regular bill lists, athletic bill lists, cafeteria bill lists, travel and related expense reimbursements. We have approval of the treasurer's report, the board secretary report, Board of Education certifications, approval of budget transfers, approval of professional services.
We also have the approval of the use of the Uniform Minimum Chart of Accounts for New Jersey's public schools, authorization to establish and execute the school budget, designate the superintendent of schools to approve and report budget transfers, approval of the OAL settlement, that's a special education settlement, approval of the contract renewal with Temco Services, Pomptonian Food Services, Source for Teachers for our substitute teachers, our student insurance, repaving 22 and 23 are quotes, and then approval of awarding of a contract for Irving School parking lot. 24 and 25 are replacement of the railings at Highland Park High School. 26 and 27, removal and replacement of the light pole at Highland Park High School. 28 and 29, refinishing of the wood floors. 30 and 31 are purchase of replacement golf utility vehicle. And then 32 is the bedside instruction. Should I read the new item into the minutes now? So we're going to vote on one new item that's come up recently. So this is labeled Approval of Settlement with HPEA and Arlene McQuaid. And it reads, I move that the Board of Education, 1, approve the mediation agreement between the board, the Highland Park Education Association, and former Secretary Arlene McQuaid, reflecting a board payment in the amount of $10,000 funded entirely by the board's insurance carrier. And 2, that the board attorney and insurance counsel are hereby authorized to negotiate and prepare any and all documents that may be required to carry out this action of the board.
Does that go in as number 33, Linda? All right, so that'll be, when we vote, everybody, just so you know, instead of voting on one from 32, we'll vote on 1 to 33 with what
Right.
Mark just read into the record as number 33.
Right.
Okay, does anybody have any questions or comments or concerns for Mark on the finance and facilities items? No. Okay, I love this workshop voting session
It's
thing. It
really
really
good.
goes very nicely.
Really good.
And Sharice, can you give us the personnel and communications report?
Sure. With permission, I'd like to hold 19 till the end. So we have, as we went through last week, we have our source for teachers list, Schedule B positions, summer band camp director, Spanish translator position. 5 and 6 are our volunteer doctor and our volunteer coaches for football and baseball. I do have one correction on personnel number 6. Sean Harrison should also be listed as a volunteer football coach under 6. And under 7, the appointment of the after-school and before-school staff. There's also a change there. Radhika Balasubramanian should be actually not listed in the before-school program list at Bartle. Right? Yeah, she should be in the after-school program list for the Bartle School. In addition, Adrian Cheshire should be also listed under Bartle School for the after-school program for item number 7. Item 8 is our teacher associates list. 9 is our paraprofessional staff. 10, approval of hours for the street fair for the staff. Number 11 was our additional hours for paras at Irving. 12 through 15 covers all of our various summer programs, summer hours, an extended school year, employment for teachers, for paras, for our nurses, our OT, speech therapists, child study team, IEP meetings, etc. 16, we were very, very sad to hear about the retirement of Brunetta Allen from here at Irving School. And, she will be sorely missed, having been someone who's been here for a very, very long time. My children all went through Irving previously and did know Miss Allen. So sad to see her go. That will be effective as of the end of June, that she will retire. 17 is a request for maternity disability leave of absence and unpaid child care leave, basically covering the full year. 18 is a recommendation for a replacement for the high school science teacher. They're recommending Donna Solis for the high school science teacher replacement. Skipping over 19 briefly, number 20 is our learning disabilities teaching consultant. The superintendent is recommending Monique Smith-Brenya for that position. Item 21 is designated school physician. And then 22 through 27 are all of our various staff assigned to our state mandated positions. All of our gender equity officer, homelessness liaison, ADA officer, Title IX officer, ESL, and safety officers. 28 is just a realignment of a position to bring that position into the same range with the other data folks in district so that everybody's on the same scale. Very long list, end of the school year. 29 is the approval of payment of paras to attend a workshop on addressing behaviors, recognizing the why and what to do about them. We are adding 2 names to that, number 29. Kathy Schmid and Ilana Cliff will be added to that list of personnel approved, or they're seeking approval for payment for them to attend this workshop.
So that's an amendment to number 29.
That's another amendment.
In addition to what's on the
yes,
agenda.
on item 29.
Okay, thank you.
So 30 and 31 are our superintendent's recommendations for 2 elementary school teachers for the Bartle School. The first being Leora Brenowitz and the second, Nicole Salerno. We had several positions that were open there that needed to be filled. 32, another maternity leave replacement. They're recommending Rebecca Unangst for that position. 33 is another position, that's our middle school, high school guidance counselor, and Stephanie Miller is being recommended for that position. And then finally, number 34, not totally finally, but number 34 is another teacher resignation here at Irving. It's one of our special education teachers, Magnolia Pedersen, will be retiring effective June 30th. Returning back to number 19, we are very happy to be in a position to have Dr. Taylor recommending to the board for consideration Christina Nicosia for the supervisor of curriculum and instruction of STEM. I'm going to actually let Dr. Taylor take over this part and let him introduce her.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. We actually have one of our supervisors already on board. Wave your hand. Suzanne Ackley, our supervisor of humanities, here to honor her new compadre. I'd like to introduce Dr. Nicosia. She just received her doctorate only about a week ago. So Dr. Nicosia, as Ms. Richardson and I pointed out, was among 64 candidates who applied for this position, 9 who we interviewed first round, and so she came out the finalist. She impressed us with, in a big way, with what appears to be a very compatible philosophy about instruction. And so I'm very excited to introduce formally Dr. Nicosia to the podium so she can talk a little bit about herself and formally introduce herself to the board before you vote on the resolution.
Hi, good evening, members of the board, staff, parents, and Highland Park residents. My name is Dr. Christina Nicosia. Thank you. I don't think it's ever going to get old saying that. I'm really excited to be here tonight and look forward to hopefully being a member of the staff and community. I spent 11 years in West Windsor, Plainsboro as a life science teacher at the high school and middle school. And there I had a great opportunity to really perfect and practice my craft to really achieve optimal learning from my students. During my tenure there, I had many great experiences that shaped my practice And one worth noting is the research that my students did. In my class, we were practicing scientists. So I had an opportunity to work with Rutgers professors at the School of Environmental Science and the Carey Institute of Ecology. And we partnered up with the Barnegat Bay Partnership, and my students measured willingness to pay for restoration of ecosystem services at the Barnegat Bay. Before Sandy, if you're not familiar, the Barnegat Bay was in a state of disarray, and it still currently is, but we found out that it's about approximately $10 additional each month that people would pay residents for certain ecosystem services added onto their water bill. So my students spent a whole year trying to solve that problem. They spent another 3 years then after that, after they were freshmen, writing a paper that was submitted for publication to Ecological Economics, which is a medium-tiered an economy journal. So I'm really proud of the work that they did. They were committed to really being scientists. And what it brought to life to me was the integration of an interdisciplinary approach in my science classroom. For a long time, I felt like I was teaching science in a bubble, that biology was just biology. Every once in a while, throw a little math in there. And from that experience, I realized that we could have some social science, the economy aspect of it, some history, definitely the math and statistics part, the science. And that's an experience that my students are still recognized today in doing. So I'm very proud of their work. But through that, more importantly, I learned that a problem-based learning approach was really, truly the way to meet the needs of all learners in my classroom. So with the help of my colleagues and administrators, we pushed forward a very student-centered, self-directed mastery approach to learning in my classroom. And that experience led me to help other colleagues from other disciplines in perfecting their craft as well, which brought me to Rutgers to study for my doctorate in education and teacher leadership. And from there, I pursued a lot of great opportunities in professional development. My current role as technology integration specialist in Madison Public Schools allows me to do just that. In my current role, I get to work with teachers all day and help them integrate technology to transform teaching and learning in their classrooms so that the Chromebook initiative that they started isn't just a $400 pencil, but that it really gives the students the experience to connect with an authentic audience and to do things that they weren't able to do because of having, without the technology now being able to do. So I'm really excited to bring all of that together to Highland Park, and I'm excited to work with the administrators, the board, parents, students, staff, teachers, administrators, and everyone to take the passion and excellence that Highland Park has and bring it to the next level. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll echo the comments I made when I recommended Suzanne Ackley for the position she holds. The two supervisors will spend the vast majority of their time in classrooms and in halls. In fact, Suzanne has already been doing that, and I appreciate that. So they'll be on the front lines working with students and teachers. That will be their role. I'd just like to spend just a few minutes talking very briefly, as I have been doing when I recommend candidates for permanent positions. I'd like to do that again this evening by first having you look at number 30, Resolution 30. I just want to tell you that I actually had an opportunity to see Leora Brenowitz in action. She was a student teacher who was working under the tutelage of Rachel Pasichow. Leora was recognized by not only me, but the supervisor from Rutgers as probably the best student teacher with whom we had a chance to work in at least my career. I mean, off the charts. She's a rock star. And so we're really fortunate that she chose Highland Park as her resting place, her next stop in her profession. Let's not be premature. I shouldn't have used that term. Nicole Salerno has been doing a wonderful, wonderful job as a replacement teacher for Brooke Baldizone at Bartle. So again, another individual who we had a chance to actually see in action. She's a proven commodity, and so we're very fortunate to have her. I also had an opportunity to talk, I'm skipping to number 33, I had an opportunity to talk to the individual who I'm recommending serve as our newest guidance counselor at the middle high school, Stephanie Miller. I spoke with her superintendent, Scott Rocco, in Spotswood. He said she has done an absolutely fantastic job and that we'll love her work. He was surprised and a little disappointed when he found out that she'll be leaving. So I welcome her as well. And that's it for the reference report. If you have any questions, now's the time about personnel. Okay.
Does anyone have anything for Charisse or Dr. Taylor? I just want to say, you know, how I just love this process. I mentioned this when we hired Ms. Ackley, and I want to say it again. Now that we're approving Dr. Nicosia, I just think it's so wonderful to have you guys come out to a meeting, for us to get to meet you, for us to learn a little bit about you. You know, that Scott is including the personnel committee in the hiring process. So, you know, we know that, you know, lots of folks have gotten to meet you, and, you know, that everybody is excited to bring you on board. So thank you so much to both of you for coming tonight and for all that we anticipate that you'll be doing for our students. We really appreciate it. So if no one has any other questions for Charisse, we will move on to policy. Anne.
All right. Well, so first we have our policies for first reading. Those are ones that we haven't voted on yet at all. The first one is 8505, the wellness policy. And this is one that we are grateful to Linda for updating us so that we will now be in compliance with, let me say the right statute here.
The Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act?
Yes, that's what I was looking for.
Have it in front of me.
The Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010. So this is almost a complete rewrite of the policy. We looked at it last week at our workshop meeting, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Anybody have any questions about that they'd like to raise?
No, I just have a quick,
Sure.
Linda, there's a quick edit. Actually, the first two sentences, the way the strikeout is done and the addition is added, we'd have a redundant has. So one of those has to go. Two has's? There are two has's. We only need a has.
Page 1?
Yes, page 1, in the first two sentences.
Just before and just after the strikeout.
Lots of has's. Yep.
Okay, and the next policy for first reading is 0155, board committees. That is the policy we discussed. It lays out which standing committees the board has, and we're adding a fifth committee, the Committee on Excellence and Equity. Mr. Krieger, I think you had some corrections to what we looked at the workshop meeting.
Yes.
And what's in the folder that people had access to.
We listed numbers 1 through 4, where number 4 is the Committee on Excellence and Equity, but the Committee on Policy was never listed as a standing committee, and so it should be. And there's some historic reasons for that, which I won't go into. But the Committee on Policy should be number 5. So I'm proposing that number 5 be the Committee on Policy, with 2 other small changes. About 25 lines down, underlined, it says the Committee on Policy is constituted at the reorganization meeting. See below for details. That sentence should be stricken. There's no reason for it. It's a committee just like our other committees. And paragraph below that where it says the Committee on Policy has representation from the 4 standing committees listed above, it should simply say the other 4 standing committees listed above. And that means it's consistent. In fact, there's a lot of verbiage here about the Committee on Policy, and it is no different than the other committees. So this just ties it together, and it makes it more sensible. And I've given a copy of my changes to both Linda and to Anne. And I guess this means we're going to read it again as a first reading next time?
No,
or second is okay?
Yeah, I think second is okay.
Second is okay.
Unless anybody has any concerns or questions about those changes. I think that's what first reading is
It's just
for,
more
is to make those
consistent, yeah.
changes. And yeah.
Okay, great.
We found it in the publicly available documents, after all.
Oh, you
There was
did?
a computer glitch.
Okay.
So members of the public did have access to
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
So, okay, any questions about our committee policy? No, seeing none. We move on to our policies for second reading, and there is only one today. It is policy 5756, the policy on transgender and gender nonconforming students. This is something we've talked a lot about at prior board meetings, so I won't go into a huge amount of detail. This policy was crafted by a wonderful committee that involved Scott Taylor, our superintendent, Michelle McFadden-DiNicola, who is on a camping trip today with the fifth grade. Michelle, I'll just read a little bit about Michelle. She is a board member who is deeply concerned about these issues. She has the personal experience of a family member who transitioned around his family member, who transitioned in early adulthood. That's Michelle's brother, Jamie. She wants to say she's very proud of the work that the committee and Dr. Taylor have done. The third member of the committee was Dr. Lauren Picciano. She is a local psychologist and community member with a transgender child in our district, and she also works professionally with this population. And the fourth committee member is in the audience tonight, Dr. Stephanie Sasso, another Highland Park psychologist and community member with special expertise in clients who are gender diverse. Dr. Taylor, would you like to say a few words about the policy? And I don't know if we want to invite Dr. Sasso up here or if she's had enough talking for today.
A lot of hard work went into writing this policy. 4 days, many hours across those days. It was a very collaborative effort among the four of us. I feel like we had all the experts around that table who really put a lot of thought into making a policy fit for the needs of our community, so I'm very proud of that.
Likewise. Dr. Sasso, would you like to address the board and the public, or don't feel any pressure to? Thank you.
I really just want to thank you all again. This was it's been an incredible process. Dr. Taylor, you were so open and amazing in hearing us out, and being a partner, and the board has been incredible. I'm so proud today to be a Highland Park resident, to be a Highland Park parent, just of everything we've accomplished. And I really, really sincerely hope that it ends up being a model for other communities. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sasso. And I know we have some training that's upcoming, planned, to ensure that staff and faculty and staff are familiar with the policy's requirements and are just sort of comfortable with the whole issue. All right.
And for anybody who's watching at home, today has been a bit of a whirlwind. We had our Congressman Frank Pallone come to our school today. He came to the high school, and we had a press conference on the front lawn of the high school. We've received an amazing amount of press coverage of the event, and kind of all day. We've had cameras following us around, which has been a very interesting experience. But I'm so glad that our district can present a positive example of a community coming together to address this issue. I think there's a tremendous amount of negativity nationwide surrounding this right now, and I think we heard comments this morning from the executive director of Garden State Equality that it's been, very difficult on the transgender community, and I hope that Highland Park can serve as, not to sound too corny, but kind of as a beacon of light in that conversation. We didn't intend to kind of be in the middle of this national conversation. This policy first came before the board, I believe it was like late 2015.
2014, I think.
And we decided not to move forward with it because we didn't like some of the language that it contained, and then took our time to craft something that we thought was more suitable for our students and our staff and our community. And we just happened to end up in the middle of this fray. And while we didn't intend to be there, I'm glad that we're here. And like I said, I'm glad that we can hopefully serve as a role model for other communities moving forward. So I'm very proud of the work of this committee. I'm very proud of the work of the board. And I look forward to us adopting this in just a few moments. So does anybody else have any comments or concerns or questions for Anne or the committee? Okay, so then we will move on to public comment. The Highland Park Board of Education welcomes public participation. Is reserved this time for your comments. Does anyone have any comments that they would like to make at this time before we vote on the reports that were just given. I don't see anyone moving. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and vote on those items. Ruth, could you move the curriculum and instructions items for us?
Yes. Okay, so I am moving items 1 through 8, curriculum and instruction.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Linda, could we have a roll call?
Ms. Byer?
Yes.
Ms. Simorowski?
Yes.
Ms. Gowan?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Magaziner?
Yes.
Ms. Pietrobono?
Yes.
Ms. Richardson?
Yes.
Mr. Roslowitz?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to finance and facilities. Mark, could you move those items, please?
Yes, I'm going to move items number 1 through the new item 33.
Okay, can we get a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Linda, could we have a roll call?
Ms. Byer?
Yes.
Ms. Simorowski?
Yes.
Ms. Gowan?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Magaziner?
Yes.
Ms. Pietrobono?
Yes.
Ms. Richardson?
Yes.
Mr. Roslowitz?
Yes.
Okay, Sharice, could you move the personnel items,
Sure thing.
please?
I'd like to move items 1 through 34 with corrections noted at 6, 7, and 29.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Linda, could we have a roll call?
Ms. Byer?
Yes.
Ms. Simorowski?
Yes.
Ms. Gowan?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Magaziner?
I'm going to abstain from 9 and 13 and vote yes for the rest.
Did you say 9 and 13?
No. Yes.
13, thank you. Ms. Pietrobono?
Yes.
Ms. Richardson?
Yes.
Mr. Roslowitz?
Yes.
Okay, and finally, Anne, could you move the policy items, please?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to move 8505, the wellness policy, for first reading, and 0155, board committees, for first reading. And I'll go ahead and move for second reading our policy number, there it is, 5756, the policy concerning transgender and gender nonconforming students.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Linda, could we have a roll call?
Ms. Byer?
Yes.
Ms. Simorowski?
Yes.
Ms. Gowan?
Yes.
Mr. Krieger?
Yes.
Mr. Magaziner?
Absolutely.
Ms. Pietrobono?
Yes.
Ms. Richardson?
Enthusiastically.
Mr. Roslowitz?
Yes.
Gosh, I feel so boring now. I don't have anything this evening for my president's report, so we'll move on to 16, old business. Does anybody have any old business to present? Okay.
I had a liaison report. I didn't know if, that wasn't on the agenda, so I don't know.
That would be what, yeah.
Would that
we
be old
usually only
business?
do it- yeah, perfect time to do it.
We just had our meeting, and I was just bubbling over with enthusiasm. We met on Wednesday, May 18th.
Can you just remind us what your...
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I'm the liaison to the borough's Human Relations Commission. So we had our, yes, that makes it a little bit more understandable. We had our meeting last Wednesday. There were a few items of note for the school board and the school community. There's a representative on the commission from the Pride Center of New Jersey on Raritan Ave, and he reminded us that there is a youth drop-in day on, a youth drop-in activity, youth drop-in period on Saturday afternoons. I, of course, don't know the time, but it is available on the web if anyone is interested. So that's something that is available to our kids. Let's see, what else? There were some updates on the Commission's work on various summer day camp projects. They are attempting to get together a free 2 to 3 day a week day camp that would be at Donaldson and one of the plant preserves, and that would be available for free to students who are eligible for free and reduced lunch. That's under the leadership of Ashton Burrell, the head commissioner and the leader of the LIVE mentorship program. So there'll be more details about that for our students. And the mayor's initiative, HP Gives a Hoot, is working on attempting to get funding for scholarships to our town summer camp. That's the one that operates out of the middle school. I believe there is already a reduced fee for students who are eligible for free and reduced lunch, and this would be scholarships, I believe, to cover the whole cost. So that is still in development. So nobody should, invest anything on that yet. But I'm hopeful that it will happen. There was also concern expressed about having comprehensive autism training in our district for staff and students. This is something that I've spoken with other board members and Dr. Taylor about, and I was glad to hear that I believe there is an autism training at the middle school coming up at some point very soon. And I know that the Educational Services Director is committed to fitting something more comprehensive into the professional development that will be happening in September. The police department was very clear that training was very effective for them. I believe they had a full day training from POAC, which is the Parents of Autistic Children. The O is for of, I think. And several of us have recommended that to the administration here, and we'll see if that happens. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm really happy with the way the liaison reports are working out. I think it really helps us kind of keep our connection throughout the community. And to that end, something that came up at the last meeting, we still hadn't figured out a way to get a report from the student who's been assigned to the Municipal Alliance. So Scott is working on that. Lucia Camacho, I think I'm getting it right.
I forgot the name.
But we're going to make sure that we have a way to, Susan is going to work out a way to make sure we get her reports from those meetings, because the Municipal Alliance specifically wanted a student participating in their meetings. So we wanted to accommodate that. We just need to figure out a way to make the communication work. Okay, so if anybody doesn't have, and no one else has anything for old business, does anyone have anything for new business? No. Okay, so that brings us to public comment. The Highland Park Board of Education welcomes public participation as reserved this time for your comments. Does anyone have any public comment? A fight for public comment. I love it.
Keith Presti, the HPEA president. I just want to, and I know Cheryl and I were like dying to clap just before, so we just want, and I'm sure the rest of the audience will join me in applauding the board for adopting the transgender and non-conforming student policy, so thank you very much for that. I just want to say that since I took over as president in January and coming to I think at my first board meeting, I said I was looking forward to working with Dr. Taylor and the board. And it has been very pleasurable so far, much different than in the past. And I just want to say I continue to look forward to working with everybody. Ann and I have already met with Mr. Krieger for the negotiations committees, and it seems to be off to a really great start. So again, thank you for everything you're doing, and I look forward to continuing to work with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
Denise Mayfire, 314 Wayne Street. I'm speaking to you on several capacities. One, thank you for passing this transgender policy, and thank you for the wellness thing you're working on. I think these are great ideas, and I like the way we're moving. Which brings me to where I am now. I am, of course, a taxpayer, but I am also retired from my career in law enforcement, and one of my second career gigs is to be a substitute teacher. Remarkably, I really like it. I mean, the pay's crappy, let me tell you that, but I really like it. And here's my report to you, my observations, just briefly. Mostly I've been a few times in Bartle, mostly middle school, mostly high school. We have a nice school district. We have nice teachers, we have good kids. There are things that can be improved, but you know what? I really, and I'm not just BSing. I really like our district.
We don't know you to BS.
Yeah, I really like our district. I really like the staff. I really think most people do a really good job most of the time. Of course, my heart goes pitter-pat for the special ed kids, and I think this GLOW thing is glowing. It is a good program. And, you know, all I've got to say is when I speak to other, well, not subs, when I speak to other teachers, because they all kind of know me, I get really good reports. Morale has substantially improved as far as I can tell from informal conversations with people. He who must not be named really, really brought havoc and awfulness upon this district. Okay, I'll say him, Capone. But anyway, I hate that man. He did awful things in our district, but I have to commend Dr. Taylor for doing a wonderful, wonderful job. I see Dr. Taylor everywhere. He walks into classrooms, he walks around the schools. I see Miss O over in the middle school walking around. Miss Brady is lightning fast between the two schools. Mr. Lassiter walks around. He even did lunch duty with me when I was a lunch duty, whatever I was, for the district the other day. I've got to say, this is good. All right? And thank you very much.
Thank you, Denise. Is there any other public comment this evening? Gosh, all this getting along. What in the world? Thank you, everybody, so much for coming out tonight. And on that note, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any objections? No. All in favor? Aye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.